This was the first time in history that a lunar mission landed on the south pole of the moon. It was a Chandrayaan 3 from India. 23 August 2023 will always be celebrated as the National Space Day in India. It was the only experimental time period of 15 days where Chandrayaan 3 discovered calcium, titanium, hot plasma, sulfur and even oxygen. And Chandrayaan 3 also researched on the moon soil, as it will be better for our future mission and it will widen our understanding about moon base and so much more. You could learn from the perspective of seismic activity on the moons like a moonquake and atmospheric perspective. Yeah, so many people think about that. There's nothing in the name of environment on the moon. But this is a completely nonsense because there's very thin layer of atmosphere presence which holds a lot of secrets in itself. So without any further delay, let's watch the video. Well, in this video, we'll see all the results of Chandrayaan 3 and understand the results step by step. Okay guys, when Chandrayaan 3 landed on the moon's surface, it took some time to check all the sensor and detector to check out the control on Chandrayaan. And after that, the rover came out of the lander. Chandrayaan's lunar earthquake detector, ILSA, also known as the Instrumental of Lunar Seismic Activity on the Moon. This ILSA is an extreme electronic device for seismic activity which detects quake more accurately biomechanically rather than measuring them on paper. The science of quakes on the moon shows that some activity is happening inside the moon, and then you can make a complete map of the moon's interior as we did with Earth. We collected a lot of seismic waves and made a map of Earth's interiors based on these seismic waves. And just like that, in that same way, you can map interiors of the moon. You can take these waves just like we did with Earth, right? Today you have a map of Earth's interior without going inside the Earth. It could widespread of our understanding about moon's interior, like a material inside the core of moon, the birth of the moon, mishaps with moons, how the moon actually different from the earth, whether or not moon is geologically active. Many answers will be found from the waves only. On August 28, 2023, the high-tech instruments of Chandrayaan 3 sent this image, which tells about the chemical properties of the lunar soil, what type of material it contains in itself and in what quantity. Percentage. And there it detected substances like aluminium, calcium, silicon, titanium, manganese, sulfur, iron, chromium. By this lunar soil detector, instruments able with their lips. It first lifts the soil and emits laser on soil. By this, the soil heats up and turns itself into plasma. And when it returns to cool, it releases energy, form of light. And the lips take that light energy and converts it into spectrum. And after that, it shows the chemical content in detail and on all of the substance there. Sulfur is very essential substance because it can tell the story of the lunar history. I mean, there is some analogy that either sulfurs would have come from outside and would have been released from the volcano by volcanic activity, because the volcano emits sulfur in large quantities. And if some of these types of analogies were proved to be correct, there are many stories happening on Earth like that would be confirmed simultaneously, and all of those substances are going to be beneficial for our future missions also. Guys, do you know that the moon dust is not like our Earth's dust? Moon dust withstand the upper temperature of 127 degrees centigrade. It is like a fiery furnace where you will see a glass and metal in a place of soil. I mean, if you have taken moon soils in your hand, then your hand will turn red due to heavy bleeding. Once lunar dust almost killed the astronauts of 70s because they inhaled it unknowingly. Later, when they looked at their shoes, all their shoes were peeled off. The eyes of them turned red. After that incident, this incident became famous as lunar hay fever. Therefore, the moon's dust and the atmosphere are harsh in the terms of temperature and surface. Guys, some interesting discoveries have also been by the thermal propagation detector of the Chandrayaan, which will make you happy. These discoveries has revealed that how the surface of the moon behave as a heat insulation, which reduces the high level of temperature significantly, as low as -10 degrees centigrade. Basically, CHAST instrument Chandra surface temperature experiment reported the temperature of moon's surface, and inside the instruments there are better sensors that could read even the smallest changes at the point. When the CHAST penetrator enters about 10 cm below the surface, of the moon, then this temperature graph is acted, and where temperature in the graph drops significantly, more than minus 10 degrees centigrade down, and that is just 10 centimeter below the surface, just 10 centimeter, mind-boggling. And now you must be wondering, brother, what's there inside the soil of the moon, which reduces the temperature below 10 centimeter from 127 degrees centigrade to minus 10 degrees centigrade. Then I mentioned earlier about the metallic substance in the moon dust. So they contain titanium, sulfur, calcium sulfate, which can cause drastic drop in temperature. And we got two benefits from the discovery. First, if we must build an underground base inside the moon, we are now confident that we can protect ourselves from excess heat and radiation. And second, if we have to build a base on the surface of the moon, then the bricks of the moon's dust can trap the heat and we can protect ourselves from excessive exposure of heat, which is quite a promising discovery. And NASA also wants to build a base on the moon in a few years, so it will be beneficial for them. In Chandrayaan 3 last instrument, Rambha detected a plasma layer of electron, basically a lot of ions and electrons emitted from dust when sunlight falls on the celestial bodies like the earth and the moon, and it can generate energy or current in the environment, but it can create so much noise on earth which produces disturbance in network and communication. But on the moon there are 30 million ions and electrons in 1 cubic meter, and there are just in only 1 centimeter on Earth. And that's mean on the moon we could do 100 times better data communication than on Earth, and that's good stuff. There are more things happened. Once again Chandrayaan 3 took off from the surface of the moon and then landed on the moon again successfully. In future, Chandrayaan 4 that will bring moon rock and soil back to Earth, and this will be the 4th moon mission of India. By the way, that's all guys. If you like the way I explained, then like it and follow me for more deep dives. Bye bye.